Okay, we need to approve the minutes. Has everybody looked over the minutes? I need a motion to approve. Need a second? Jimmy has made a motion to approve the minutes. And Jimmy seconds it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those not in favor say nay. Dave says nay. Lloyd? Abstain, nay. Are you saying nay or abstain?
Well, I said I wasn't here.
That's an abstention.
That's what?
That's an abstention.
Okay, abstain. And then we need to review and approve claims, which I need a motion to approve the claims. I need a second. Okay. So the motion is on the table to approve claims by Jimmy, and Jenny seconded it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those that have a nay or abstain. Alright. They both nay? Yeah.
Before we get started, Laura, would you read this, please?
It's not on the agenda.
What?
It's not on the agenda.
I don't care, it's on the agenda, I'm gonna stay on board.
Tell me, Maura. It's not on the agenda, right?
Following the agenda, if there is a moment
When
for
it
comment,
is
you can make
special.
your comments.
What,
The
Dave?
worthless.
I'm worthless?
Sign
Oh,
it.
sign
Sign
it.
it. I need Miranda.
He is out of line, and if he does it again, I'm gonna ask you, as the marshal, to remove
You are
him.
the marshal, you have no resting power.
Listen.
Brenda did not do that.
Excuse
I'm
me.
on speed dial with the sheriff.
I don't
He's not
care
the
what
sheriff.
you're on. I don't care what you're on. This is
Oh,
our
this is
meeting.
ridiculous.
Listen.
This is ridiculous. This is yeah, it is.
You're way out of
No, I'm not. This is ridiculous. This is a board meeting. We are here to improve the town of Redkey and to make it better for the community. And all everybody has heard, okay, is we have things and projects that we want to do to make this community better, and y'all just sit there like kids.
No, but I thought maybe you would. I don't want you to, but usually you're with me. Yeah. I was gonna tell him if you wanted to talk, you could sign that paper.
Let's get back to the table business, which
All
is
right.
the next item on the agenda.
So the claims for April are approved. And now we have tabled business, which Mr. John Watson,
Yes, sir. Yes.
okay.
Okay. I would like to have a,
I don't think you have to clip it on, I think she just wants you to hold it.
well, I've got my information concerning the mobile home I would like to have put on, a lot at 103 East High Street. You're gonna look up some information? Okay.
Well, the information from, again, I even talked to Mara a little bit about this, and she really does say that it's up to the council to vote, but I did look it up, and it does not meet state requirements as far as the wiring and the thinning of the walls, and something about the ceiling, according to,
A mobile home.
Mobile home, that's
Mobile
what it
home.
is.
I'm talking mobile home.
okay,
Yeah.
is that the picture of the little one that you showed me?
That's the picture of this. These.
Okay, all
This.
right.
And here's the floor plan.
Well, it is different, yeah, so, well, guys, this is the mobile home that he wants to put on the lot that he owns down on the corner of Spencer and
Spencer and East High.
East High Street.
I make
So,
a motion to put some motor home when he's out down there, he owns the lot, he's got water and sewage hooked up to it, ain't you?
I will.
the only thing that I ask is that you make sure that you, I don't know who you ask, I think it would be Himmelgarn. You said that you would probably go right to the property line, and I just know that there's some kind of a law that says you have to have so many feet between the property line.
The
or
state
whatever.
law
So
just
do I need-
requires, the state law,
It's 15 by 36.
the state law just requires that you leave enough room that you can maintain your side of the property and they can maintain
face
Not
Spencer
in
Street
right-of-ways.
or High Street?
Easements you have for
Yeah, as long as there's nothing.
All his utilities are out on the front, so he's already got an existing shed there and stuff, so all of this stuff that
What do
he
you
would
want
need
it
on the
facing?
front of it.
Facing High Street or facing,
Yeah, which
High
one?
Street. Which one
Can
do you
I
want?
face High Street or can I face Spencer?
which one do you want?
But the property already has an address.
Yeah.
Right.
there's one
Wherever
for
your
each
front
side.
faces, that's your address.
The front,
Okay,
yeah, the
yeah.
front door has to face where you're,
Do you know what that address of that existing?
Well,
It's on High Street, but I don't
So
know.
I guess it
the
would need to face High Street.
103 East High.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was,
So, okay, that leaves, if I put it right in the middle of the 50-foot structure, that leaves 7 foot on each side. Is that acceptable? Or I can go, how close can I go to the property line?
Residents
Yes,
or
yes.
temporary
this is a
dwellings?
permanent residence, right?
Yes.
So you have to follow the ordinance of, our mobile home ordinance, just like other people will put mobile homes, and it has to have a skirting, it has to be anchored, so make sure that you go up and get with these guys and get a copy of the ordinance that we have, because you have to have, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, he's going to need his own, a separate person number, and a separate address if it's going to be a second residence.
That's gonna be 103 East High Street.
It's empty lot.
It's an
on the
empty lot.
Okay.
It's an empty lot. The home that he lives in Portland right now, I guess you're giving to your daughter. Is that the way I understand it?
I live in.
I'm sorry, I thought there was already a home
No.
on
It
the
burned
lot that
down.
was being repaired.
No.
Okay,
No, that home burnt down. Yeah.
okay.
So all that's
Then, yeah,
there is
it's
just an
the
existing
as long as it's
garage or little
Right,
shed or
there's a
whatever.
garage and a shed there,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
it.
As long as it's not going over any easements or right of ways.
So Jimmy, you made a motion for
I
him to
make
be
a
able to
motion
put
he
the
puts
mobile home
his
there?
home on his land where he wants to put it.
Okay, well, and that's fine, but there are certain guidelines that we have for
Yeah,
renting
he-
that you have to
he'll
follow
go-
for the
right.
mobile home,
He'll
like
go-
like the
he'll go-
skirting
go-
and
Yeah.
all of that
Yeah, we've
stuff.
already talked about it, they put skirting, they have to do everything
Anchor
that
it.
is required for a normal mobile home.
Okay, so I have a motion on the table to accept Mr. Watson's, mobile home being at 103 East High Street. I need a second. Jimmy seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passed, yeah. Welcome aboard.
Welcome to Redkey, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, I'm done.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let's see.
Just make sure you meet with the girls to know what you gotta do with that mobile home ordinance, because I'm not all familiar with all of it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
I have one, I just don't know all of it, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, I didn't get with Ted, and then all the flooding in Redkey, and I figured he was just swamped, and I just put it off till next meeting.
Okay, so we'll just table her,
Yeah.
getting her alley closed, and Ted will get with her. Okay,
Yeah.
Ted will get with you.
Okay,
Closed or
thanks.
vacated?
Well, you want it vacated, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
vacated. There's nothing on them already, they're already closed, it's all, you'd have to see where we're talking about, there's nothing there already.
Yeah,
Okay, then come meet with me after the meeting and I'll get you the petition to vacate an alley.
oh, okay, thank you.
Alright. And then it says the smart meter tower. I have really good news about the smart meter tower. The smart meter tower was gonna cost us about, well, it is costing us a little over $18,000. However, we returned, the smart meters that we didn't need because we bought in abundance, and we got $14,000 back on the smart meters that we returned. And then the guys scrapped the old meters because we're putting the smart meters in, and so we have enough money to cover putting the smart meter tower on top of the water tower. So I need a motion to go ahead and get that underway. So I need a motion to be able to call the guy and get them to install.
Do we own anything on that $650,000 smart meter? Is it paid off?
No, all of the meters are paid for.
Okay,
They were-
everything's paid off.
Yep.
So the only bill we got is $18,000 for the.
And we have enough money to cover it by sending the meters that we didn't need back and scrapping the old meters. The only amount of money that we don't have right now is they have $300 300 more meters to put in, right, or close to 300 meters, and we're gonna scrap that. But we have all the rest of the money except for that, and we will have that money as soon as they scrap, but that's only a couple $1,000s, so we can afford to pay the couple $1,000s until they scrap that
So
money.
you need a motion for.
To go ahead and call them and have them to install the smart meter antenna on top of the water tower.
They'll work with over half of them installed.
Oh, yes, yes.
They'll work, that's what's gonna go.
And they've started, yeah, and they've started putting smart meters, they've started the new smart meters now, so, yes.
I'll make a motion to make it.
Alright.
That's the final, that's the final.
That's final, yep, that's it. So I need a second. So there's a motion on the table to go ahead and approve the installation of the water meter tower on top of the water tower for the 18,000. It's a little over 18,000, but like I said, we have all the money except for a couple thousand. And Jenny seconded that. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. And, okay, so everybody agreed. I do appreciate all the effort you guys have put in, Bill, Ted, Seth, with returning the, making sure that we returned those so that because we were still under warranty to get our money back, and then, scrapping everything and taking it to the scrapyard so that we could pay for this. Okay, so it says new business, a donation for a better life for Brianna's Hope. What's that about?
Okay, they sent us a letter, and you should have a copy with your stuff. They're wanting a donation, and I looked, and we have in the past, in 2022, I think it was, in 2021, they did make a donation.
We donated to Brianna's Hope.
We haven't, this group hasn't, but they have in the past, in 22 and 20,
I see the letter right here.
yeah. So it's up to
So
you.
how much did we donate before,
They
Gloria?
donated $500 each time, each week. But there's 3 different,
Oh, gold, silver, and
tiers, yeah.
bronze.
Three different tiers.
Yeah, the 500 is the gold, the silver is the 250, and the bronze is the 100 if you look at your letter, Jimmy. So, Floyd, do you have any input? Do you want to donate to Brianna's Hope? What does Brianna's Hope do? Do you know, Gloria?
it is for the people that rehab. They go to meetings, support and recovery for them.
It's a really good program.
Okay. Are you okay with donating something, Floyd? Do you know what you would like to donate? Do you wanna do we wanna do gold, silver, or bronze? We did the 500 before, which is the gold. Do we have the money?
Yeah, they took it out of, I honestly left that paper at the office. They took it out of a promotion fund, because I looked.
So we do have it in promotion fund? Yes, Floyd, we do have the money available.
Does all the towns want to donate to everything?
Yeah.
They did
I
it
see
20
churches down in Muncie got that Brianna's Hope. Are they in that too? or-
Yeah.
Everywhere you see this Brianna Hope,
It's,
It goes to all our different counties and have meetings for,
Randy Davis still over there?
I don't know, is it,
Is he still over there?
so if we wanna donate, I need a motion, and for how much? Okay, so I have a motion on the table to donate $500 for the gold to Brianna's Hope. I need a second. Jenny seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. And Floyd said aye too, so. So you'll take care of that, then, Gloria?
I'll send the check in.
Jay County Dispatch for Police Department. So I need to talk about that. They are still not dispatching any help except for 911 calls for Redkey. Ray sent, Mr. Jack, CGIS education for all of the, police that we have in our reserves, and everyone took it, and they sent it back to Ray.
That was sent through Contessa, which is one of the head dispatching. She's over that.
So you sent it back to Contessa, right, for Ray, right?
It's sent to each individual, and then I make sure that everybody on the department sent it to me, showing me that it got done. But as soon as you hit submit, it goes into a system, she can see it, and everybody sent it, everybody completed 100% when they took their test, so. And that was what I was told that they needed. And I gave them everything, and we've had conversations, and every time I talk to him, something else is brought up that he needs, and it's just been a continuous cycle
$223.10 every year, right,
We
for
pay,
Spillman?
that's our usage
That's our
fee,
contract with them?
and we're still not able to have access to that, so with Spillman, that shows the dispatch calls that are going on, that's where we do reports, and the prosecutor themselves have access to it, they can pull up reports and see the
So
reports.
you don't have to be a police officer to have access to
As long as you
Spillman,
have
you
the
just have to have the
CJIS
training, is
As
that
long as
correct?
you take the CJIS training, you can have access to this.
And every one of you guys have had the CJIS training,
Yes.
and that has all been sent to Contessa.
Yes.
And we're still being denied access to Spillman, right?
Correct.
So it's my understanding that you guys did a traffic stop on Saturday, and you called dispatch, and they refused to run the plate for you guys, is that correct?
Yes, we did 2 traffic stops, with one of my new reserves, Aaron, he's fully certified, Aaron Stromzak, he's fully certified to the state. And we sat there on the first traffic stop, they had another call going on, so they were just busy, so we just wrote the person a warning, let them go. The next person we stopped, was running 65, we called dispatch, which is all recorded, and they told us that per Ray, we are not allowed to get that stuff until we have Redkey has a written contract, those are the words of the dispatcher. So then I called Ray after that. Ray told me on the phone that he doesn't have to do any of this stuff for me, that he doesn't have to grant me access to this stuff. So at that time, I explained to him that we pay a usage fee for Spillman. He stopped talking to me and then hung up on me. And then I called Mara and explained to her what was going on. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to that, nobody can work because if they don't get the return, if we're stopping somebody, it could be a murder suspect. That's what comes back from your license. It could be suspended. There's a lot of things coming from that. You're just officer safety. So, 1 minute we're being told that he wants you guys to hire police. We get police. I try to put guys on. We're still denied access to be police in the town. So my hands are tied
So
at
you're
this
still
point.
not able to protect the residents of,
Yeah, I'm trying my best. Even though Mr. Levelson made a statement, I don't have arrest powers, I still can do code for the town, I can still go to medical calls and help in that aspect. I'm a first responder, things like that. The other thing I can't do is arrest you. I can still come and talk to you about things and try to help out. I've talked to the state, I've talked to legal down at Hialeah, for the academy. So, really everything falls into that, other than me being able to arrest him. You didn't tell me to arrest him, you just asked me to have him leave. So, for him to scream out to me that, feel pretty disrespected in that manner, but.
When do you go to your classes and stuff?
I will start the police academy May 5th. I go down in April, I go down this coming Monday, the 28th. I'll do my physical agility, and then I'll start on May the 5th.
So you'll be there like 10 weeks,
I'll be there 16 weeks, so
16 weeks?
I'll be there till August 22nd.
And then whenever you come from there, you will be able to do everything you have to do.
And, he's almost finished up with his pre-basic hours, the deputy. He'll be done by the end of this week, first of next week, and then he'll be ready to go to be able to take all the calls in town. He will have his full arrest powers and everything, so, we're trying, but everything kind of gets pushed back within the training and stuff. We have to wait for the state, Hialeah itself, to kick us the class, and you have to pay a percentage or a fee to get all the schooling and stuff that they provide, and then obviously I have to work around schedules with other officers that work full-time as police, but they're also instructors that are donating their time to helping getting them trained, and also getting the training that all the other guys need to keep up to date for the state themselves. So, I've been very fortunate with knowing a lot of people that they've been very helpful with Alex and getting them trained, so.
But now you're all gonna sign a contract, stay with us so many years or something?
Both of us, yes.
we're gonna talk about that more. He said, both officers said that if we agree to, cause they're doing away with Academy 2, and, right, they're doing away with that, they're talking about getting rid of that, you've heard that too, right? Tier 2.
That
So-
will be a while away. That'll be a few years away, but we agreed on the tier 1.
Correct, so, we talked as, we've all talked, and, somebody needs to make a motion to switch from tier 2 to tier 1 then. And they said if we make a motion and we do that they would sign 5-year contracts so that they pay back all the money that we pay, if they leave within the first year, 75 the second year, 50 the third year, 25 the fourth year, into the fifth year. So can you get us a contract for them that's something like that? I appreciate you. So I need a motion to, change from tier 2 to tier 1 then.
I don't think you need
You don't have to?
a motion, you
Okay.
need to draft something and you can vote on the
Perfect.
contract.
Okay, great, thank you.
But I did want to let you know, I did take those concerns to the county attorney. I haven't
Okay.
heard back, we haven't had a chance to connect yet, but I've made them aware that we have these issues with dispatch.
Okay, alright, I appreciate you. Now we have to talk about the American Rescue Plan Fund.
Okay, we had to do a report showing what the money had been spent for. We got the money in 2021. And you guys have all the papers. I had Janet with, social service help me do this report. And in 2021, I think it was, I got my paper here. In 2022, they took $35,000 from that and put it into the unappropriated general fund. And we shouldn't have done that. And the interest that we made from that, you were supposed to put that in the general fund. I think they did do that. But I have a paper that you guys need to vote on and sign to appropriate this, let's see, transfer this back into the AARP fund
Okay.
from the general fund.
So the money they put in the general fund, we need to vote to put back into the AARP fund, the ARP fund.
Yeah.
It wasn't spent?
Well, it's gonna, we'll have like $1,600, I think she said, left after that's put back in here. But, when we appropriate it back into the general fund, it will come out of, the revenue, and it won't be like out of the basic general fund.
Is this in 22?
Yeah, that's.
So in 22, they put it in the wrong account, right?
Well, they took it out,
$35,000.
they took it out.
They took it out of the ARP fund and put it in the general fund, and they weren't supposed to do that, and we got interest on it. Is that the way I'm understanding it, Gloria? So we have to put it back in the fund
The
and
American Rescue Plan.
the American Rescue Plan, yes.
Yeah, they
Which
should,
is the COVID plan, right?
So then do we have another $35,000 in the rescue plan we gotta get rid of to this year?
No, if you haven't obligated it by now,
So
then
then
it
the
has to be
$35,000 will go to the town, right?
no,
Who's it go to?
they'll go back, but if you look at the reports, there's only gonna be, I think she said,
$1,600, right?
about $1,600 or $1,800.
So this account is currently negative, 33,000 and something.
Not according to this report, let's see, adopted it. It's a hard, thing to understand. I can see how she probably didn't realize she wasn't supposed to do that back in
Who
2020.
helped you come up with this
Janet.
report? Janet, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
with local government services
Right.
that we hired to help
Yep.
her with the budget
Right.
and stuff like that. We
Right.
had to do this report. I had no idea. It took me forever to get logged into it. And then I finally did, and she helped me get the information, and you guys all have a copy of the report.
Is that your current fund balances?
Fun. So many, such many things on here.
I still think we need some clarity on this. I'm kind of confused.
Well,
I
I
wish
will-
you to table it until. we
Yeah,
get-
I wish Janet could explain it a little more.
That's what I told you, show that to you, and there's the report.
So we're gonna, I need a motion to table this until the next time, till next meeting,
I'll
please.
call her and talk with her.
So Jenny makes a motion to table the resolution for the AARP appropriations. I need a second. Jenny seconds it, and we will call, Janet and get more clarification on that. And maybe if she could call Mara and explain to Mara what it is, that would help too, Gloria.
Okay, I'll have her, yeah. They're easy
Okay. And then Mark Lovell came from the fire department and said that he's sick. He stood outside, didn't get too close to me, and he brought me contracts for the fireworks for the 4th of July. And there's 2 of them, and he said we need to sign those and put them back, I just need to make you guys aware of this, that he wants them signed and then give them back to Gloria by one of us. And so I'm gonna let Mara look over it real quick, and then we'll sign that and have that taken care of.
Is it appropriated? Have you guys voted on it?
No, we haven't even voted on it. The firemen do fireworks every year, so do we need to vote?
But you still need to vote to spend the money and.
We don't
line
spend
item.
money. They do that. It's out of their budget. It's out of their money.
They do
They do fundraisers for it, yeah.
It's fire department money.
So it's just like an insurance thing is what they're asking them to
Yeah,
sign?
yes.
So all they're wanting to make sure whether.
They just want us-
Right?
Can I see one of those, Mara? They're exactly the same, so I'll kind of read some of this here. It's saying that, it says, this is agreement made on the 24th day of February for the night magic display. It says, sales of goods, the seller has the right to buy the fireworks. That's the purchase price and payment. It tells you how much it is. It's $13,134. Claims, any claims or loss or defective materials or products or shortages in count caused to be waived by the buyer unless there is a 3-day delivery afterwards. And it's talking about the warranties of the fireworks. It's talking about additional I don't understand why we're signing this and the fire department's not signing this. Seller shall purchase a state permit. Do you understand why the fire department doesn't sign this, Floyd, and why they want the council to sign this?
They will sign it, but they're just showing you what needs to be done, legality.
No, because look, to me, if I sign this, I'm the buyer.
I mean, it's saying you're gonna provide
You pay
sufficient
them for
area,
fireworks?
adequate security staff, rope off the area, and agree to make the payment, and if you're not the ones in charge.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a
I
hold
mean,
of
I would
Mark.
want the town to be an additional insured, but yeah, let me talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
Then while you were on that fire department, Dunkirk had a fire truck over there out there at Addison's place. And
Yep.
I stopped and then I had a for sale sign on it. And then I couldn't get nobody, but then I come back later on, there's a guy on the yard there. So I just pulled in there and stopped with him. And then he called his dad. And he wanted $6,000 for that Dunkirk fire truck. But then he said something about, it was the same match about Redkey. So evidently he knew something about Redkey.
Do you know anything about that, Floyd? Well, if you're on the fire department, you'll just let them know that Jimmy said that the Dunkirk there's a Dunkirk fire truck for sale for $6,000, and he told Jimmy at Addington's, and he told Jimmy it was just what Redkey needed, right?
So evidently he knew something about the
So,
fire truck.
just have them check
I'm looking
into
for a
it.
pump. Last meeting, we've had 2 or 3 meetings, he's looking for a pump.
Right.
But I think that's got everything you want. You ought to go out and check it out, Louis. It's out there at Addison's place out there. Now, he ain't had it stuck out there for sale, so he's ain't stuck back in the building.
Alright.
But then I don't know if anybody else knew about it.
We'll make sure Floyd lets them know.
This could be Dunkirk's problem, that's the reason they got rid of it.
I'd say,
Right.
Or it could be, have something on it that Redkey could use to update theirs
It's
too.
the pumpers, it's prior to past inspection,
Right.
so that's the pumpers.
I was just gonna say, unfortunately, what they need is not gonna be a $6,000 project.
I realize that. Alright, so now we're on to the department reports, and so, for the police, we were locked out of all of the security systems at the city building. The last person that worked there, even the people that, what's the guy that installed it? What's his name?
Kyle Denny,
Kyle Denny is the one that installed the program. He came and even tried to get in it and said that somebody backdoored it. They could actually see what we were doing in the city building, and pretty much, it had to be completely wiped out and a new one put in. And the cost of that was $575. So I need a motion
I make a motion to pay time.
okay, for the security system, and I need a second. And Jenny seconds it.
You know, we bought Kate, or we bought the, Kate was the last one we had.
Let me get to that first.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Jay County, the only two, receivers, right, that
We only had 2 portable radios when I took over, and those 2 radios belonged to the Portland Police Department. And they were actually leased when Steve Schlechte was the police chief of Portland. He loaned those to Kyle Denny when he was the marshal here. And when I took over, I was asked that we return them.
so we had to buy, we had no radios.
We had no handheld radios whatsoever.
So we had to purchase radios and body cams, so, I need a motion to, I know that he had talked to you, and then he had talked to you, and then he had talked to me, so we need a motion to supply them guys with radios and body cams, and I know that it was a cost of, their lifetime warranties, right, they give you the latest and greatest after these are,
So with the body cameras, they're a little over $20,000 for a 5-year span of $4,010
a
in
year.
some sense every year. That comes with a cloud system, so we don't have to purchase and have a server base and all that stuff. And also, every 3 years, you get the latest and greatest of what they have. You turn in your equipment, they furnish you brand new equipment. So it's a huge win. Yes, it sounds like a lot of money, but in the long run, for the town and for the people, I think transparency is one of the main key things that we need. So when somebody makes an accusation against an officer, you know, and one of the board members calls and they want to see that stuff, and then we can come up and we can review it together and see if, you know, what was being said is true, and obviously if there was something that was inappropriately done or, you know, not correct in the manner, then, you know, we could bring that to the board's attention as far as disciplinary or even, you know, termination of somebody if something is done. Writing new policies with those body cameras to the point where that body camera comes on when you exit your vehicle and doesn't come off when you're in your vehicle. So that way everything is recorded anytime you're in the general public and somebody approaches you, you need to be recording. Just for the satisfaction that and the transparency that when somebody makes some type of accusation, because nowadays everybody likes to look down on the police, and I'm really trying to push this department to not be the laughing stock of the county and to be a professional department. And I've stressed that with the guys, and that's the direction I want to take it, that these guys are going to be held to a higher standard of professionalism.
So you're talking about both the body cam.
What brand are they?
Axon.
What about on the radios?
The radios would be a Kenwood radio. I got a price through Motorola for radios and cameras, and he never sent me an actual physical quote, but when he quoted me on the phone, he said anywhere from $43,000 to $47,000, and that was just for 2 in-car cameras that he would update, because the Durango at the time does not have an in-car camera, and the Tahoe has a camera, but it's outdated and the system is not in good shape. I never quoted to see how much it would be to fix it. I talked to the Portland police chief, and the system that they use, which is a Rovi R3 system, it records continuously and sits up there, and all it is takes a little SD card, but it gives you front camera footage, it gives you camera of the officer driving at all times, and it gives you rear facing camera as well, so it captures everything around that car. And also
That's not included in this number that I have here though, right?
no, that was a separate thing I paid for out of pocket.
Okay.
Ticket, that was $219. The original was $400, was on sale on Amazon, so I bought it from Amazon Prime, so that way we could outfit the car. So also goes back to if their body camera's not on, they're just driving, you guys call and say they're smoking in the car, they're talking on their phone, they're not supposed to be, obviously that's a state law. Once again, pop an SD card out, and we can discipline from there if that kind of thing's going on, so.
Well, I know the total cost is $21,182, but it's $4,000 per year after the, you know, per year, yeah.
For 5
yes,
years.
For 5 years. So I need a
Is that
motion.
direct with a vendor, or did you get that off the state KPA?
That's direct through Axon. That's our rec for this area, for Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, I think he's over Kentucky as well.
That's for the body cams and the radios.
I know, I'm just wondering if.
Yeah.
800 megahertz.
Yeah, and
So
that's not even the
this
top
is
of the
the-
line, he went with the middle line, right?
This
It
is
wasn't the
the-
top of the line.
So this is what the radio would be, this is the demo version. These do 700 and 800, so if the county goes to 700 or 800, these radios would come already programmed with everything in them that we need. The only thing right now is they don't have VHF, but for a VHF radio would be about $4,700 per unit. This one here, sitting here, is just under $2,800. And the only problem we have with that is, say, if we get in a standoff situation where another department's in the back, like, well, we can talk to Dunkirk and we can talk to Portland, because they have 800s. The only problem we have is the sheriff's department. If the sheriff's department's on one side of the house and our guys are on one side, you're not gonna be able to talk to each other through radios because they have VHF. So for this to be a dual band radio, you're looking at $4,700 per radio. So I went with this isn't the cheapest Kenwood radio they have, because if you go any lower, it's set to one system. This is their mid-grade, and it comes at you at about just under $2,800. But their most expensive is $4,700, but trying to be cost effective for the town and everything that I've done so far, so.
But your life's right knowing that.
That's why I want that, for these guys.
They didn't have, the
Because
body
I
cams
can
weren't
hear-
working and they took
So
our
the other
radio.
thing is, we have a problem with our repeater down from when I did talk to Ed from Kenwood, they're the ones that are looking to put in the services for the county, for the 800 system. In the backyard of the police department, that big tower is the 800 tower.
Yes.
So right now, if I open this up, right now it's on a closed channel just for Dade County. If I open this up, as we sit here, it's going to hear Randolph County, it's going to hear Wells County, Adams County, Blackford County, Delaware County. This thing will drive you nuts if you leave it open on Delaware County right now, because there's so much going on in Delaware County. The Sheriff's Department, EMS, I mean, you can hear all that stuff.
So it's scanning.
Yep, so you can scan with it, and you can close it out. It's got quite a few neat features for being a mid-grade radio. Really, the only difference of paying the more expensive one was it came with like a top display that showed what channel you were on, and then obviously it did VHF, UHF, and all that. But honestly, everybody's on a 700 or 800 thing, so you can go through here and all that stuff's already pre-programmed with our system. So even if they do the 700, we don't have to pay to do anything upgrading right now. As soon as you key this up, it'll bounce off of whichever one that this county is actually on.
Thank you.
So,
So I need a motion to approve the body cams and the radios.
Do they have it in their budget, or do you need?
Is out of the Lowit. Him and her went over it and she said it was available in the Lowit, so.
and with the low, if nobody's aware of that, that money can only be used for police, fire, emergency personnel only. And that is a fund that every year when taxes are paid, money goes back into that account. So it's not like we're draining an account, but these are necessary things that we need as far as for being transparent in communication.
For safety.
The past people that have been in charge never looked into this stuff, and I came in and I couldn't believe that how these guys even operated, that were ahead of me, so.
So I need a motion to approve. So Jimmy makes a motion to approve the radios and the body cams at the total that we talked about, and then it will be $4,010.24 per year. And I need a second, and Jenny seconds it. All in favor say aye. Aye. Floyd?
Abstain.
And then, let's see. There was something else that I was gonna say about the police department, I can't remember what that was, I'll have to think about that, let me see on here.
Can we get our body camera back?
Can we what?
Can we get our body camera back? We took with them, we paid $1,600 some dollars with them.
Okay,
Okay, you took our, we bought it for $1,650.
well,
Okay, you took it.
when
Get it back.
the cars were detailed, I just, there were cigarette hole burns all in it, and there were,
Okay. Can we get,
We'll do that now, so.
just, what?
can we get the $1,650 we bought for the money?
Okay, here's the thing, the state board of accounts told us that we have to do
What we
inventory.
gotta do now?
We have to do inventory. The state board of Board of Council, and that when they audited, they said that we were lacking in an inventory. So I told Mark before he left that I needed inventory from the fire department. Thanks to Bill and his wife, we have an inventory already done of the cabin. I have that to give to Gloria. And then we have to do an inventory at the street department. We have to do an inventory of the water department, and we have to do an inventory of the wastewater department. Everything that we have, tables, chairs, computers, vehicles, yes, Billy, the city building has to be done too. We have to have that done, and I think that we need to have it done by September if we can. So we need to really diligently be working on those things, like all the computers, all the trucks, any lawnmowers, any tractor, everything they want. I mean, now if it's something teeny tiny petty, I would say probably not, but we have to have that for them. That's one of the things that they ask
Can
for.
we list the stuff that they took away from us?
Are you talking about the police?
I'm talking about that $1,650 we bought for Cage Life Fest.
I know, Mara, we did not get a return vest on Zach, and we did not get a return vest on John Cave.
Zach's we don't have, but we were up at Braitman's in Fort Wayne, that's where John went through. The guy actually was able to track down when he purchased that and gave us the serial numbers off it. We do have his panels, we don't have his carrier that it goes in. And
I don't know what that means. What's a carrier?
that's what he goes panels in.
That's the vest itself, so you have the vest, but you don't have other stuff.
We have the ballistic panels.
Okay, but not the vest.
Yeah.
How many of them do you have?
There was two sets of panels up there, so two vests, and actually we're making use of both of those right now. So we went up there in Braden's, I explained to him the kind of situation we were in, and the guy was nice enough to actually, he donated us carriers to get us by, to get uniforms put together and get those vests put together. He had a few, because he deals with Allen County Sheriff's Department, they had a few people that had ordered vests that quit, that actually fit me, that fit
So you
them.
got a vest in?
No, remember they ordered the vest. It takes 160 days to come in, but they gave you something until those come in,
Oh,
right?
you don't want them.
Right.
No, he gave us stuff free and clear,
So
just to
you got
help
a
us
vest
out.
free and clear, he's got a vest free and clear?
That, yes,
Okay, we're good.
so,
We'll tell Terry.
well, so there's also a bill up there that he had not paid for, since September of last year, it's like $59 or something.
How much?
It's like just under $60. It's for a taser holster so a taser we don't even carry. It was for taser 7, we only have tasers, taser 2.
Who owes it, the town?
Huh?
Who owes it, the town owes it?
Well, technically the police department but we took it up
The
there.
town is responsible for that.
We took it back to him, and he was actually nice enough, he traded it in for a holster that we would need for this, so he's been great to us and helping us out.
Good.
So,
And I know you guys have been diligent about applying for every grant you can. I know you
We
got
did.
grants to pay for, you had grants to pay for half of the vest and all kinds of stuff. So I just wanna give kudos to you guys for all the extra work that you're doing to try to save the town money.
Alex also applied for a grant through the,
United States Sheriff's Deputy.
so through the United States Sheriff's Deputy Association, and they actually gave us a rifle shield, for us to have, to where we go to approach on a house that, if somebody's made statements they're gonna shoot up the police or whatever, we have to do something. It actually is a rifle shield that you can hold with your arm as you approach. So that was actually a donation we got as well, to put in the police car. Yeah, they originally had $1,500, we had to purchase them outright. So, we've been trucking away. The only other thing I have to purchase here before too long is, he's talked about ammo in the past. We counted up the ammo that we have up there, out of
wanted I've talked to Seth and he's got some ideas to order some signs for the park right now. Because you said that you guys can't enforce people not being at the park without posted signs. So Seth go ahead Seth, it's your turn to talk. Why don't you stand up and have it for?
Brenda basically went over the whole water department, appreciate that. Street signs, yeah, right, so basically right now I'm just going around when I can, block to block, and putting up what street sign names that we do have back up. There's signs missing, some are destroyed, some just need replaced because they're faded completely, they could even be refaced. But the cost of the signs blew my mind. Literally I thought, a little piece of aluminum would cost a whole lot. No, the pedestrian signs in front of the school is 10 signs. The total of that was $772.68. So we're looking for different options. I'm going to reach out to a few other businesses in Muncie and see if we just can't reface them. It'd be a lot cheaper, hopefully. The park sign, I'll get with you on it, and I'll get with Jenny on it. It's basically, you'll be able to customize it. So it'll say Redkey Park, and then you can give a list of rules, and you can state, open from sunrise to dusk or whatever. Those are about $60 a piece. I would like to get 3 of them, one at each entrance, and then one over here on this building facing the playground. That way you've got all entries covered, so that way they can't say, well, we didn't see a sign. Well, sign was up.
Because right
Especially with
now,
all the graffiti, and I know you said you can't patrol and legally do anything without posted signs.
right, because otherwise then we can call on the city ordinance violations and start writing city ordinance violations for people being in the park.
Okay.
I'm clear to do any of that type of thing.
Park ordinance.
There is a
There
park
is, but
ordinance.
it's not posted, so if you were to cite somebody for that, a defense attorney is gonna throw the fact that it's not posted, and more than likely it's gonna get thrown out. The best thing to do is to have it posted where they can clearly see it. You can say, when you drove into the park over here, you drove in over here, you pass that sign. It's not our responsibility to make sure that you read everything that's there, but it is there for you to read. So, but right now, that code for the city reads that the park is closed from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m., but it really needs to be revised, that it reads from dusk till dawn, or, that people can't be in the park. Because obviously with the changing of the seasons, it gets dark at certain times, and if it's, in the middle of winter, it's gonna be dark way before then, and obviously nobody has any business coming back here. Obviously, there would be a revision, and it does state in there with like having baseball games and things like that going on. Obviously, that would make it different from people being here, but after obviously those games end, people are to disperse and leave, they're not to hang out here and do anything, So, I think that would be a major thing, but with our new Facebook too, we want to start posting, obviously our city ordinances and
Should have the artwork on it.
just make people aware of the fact that we are going to start taking action towards people being out and doing things that they're not supposed to help out with a lot of juveniles running around at night, and they're spray painting, they're breaking things, and like he said, they're spray painting, knocking down signs, taking signs. And when a sign costs that much, they're taking a lot of money from the town.
Mara said she would draft something up too. Go ahead, Seth.
That was really all I had on the streets. I'm gonna not really cover, it's more of an idea. I reached out to Jenny about it, reached out to Brenda a little bit. I know Dunkirk does it. I know Portland doesn't have like an official, but I know they do up at their courts, at their baseball diamonds. They do a lot of pickup tournaments or 3v3 kids tournaments with adult tournaments. I thought maybe if we got enough feedback from the community, we could do a 3v3 tournament league out here. We got 2 courts. They're not too bad of shape. They could be improved a little bit. We got new chain nets up. But you could do a couple different options. You could do like ages 16 and younger on one court and 17 up on the other court, kind of divide it. Or like I said, depending on the feedback and interest, we could do 2 full adult courts one day, set it up for kids another day. We could even open up the park cabin, get with Bill. We could do like a little concession in here, sell food, snacks, whatever. Be a little fundraiser for the park so we can get some nice newer equipment. I know you guys went and looked at some handicap equipment, you know, that type of funds can go towards things like that. Just really, that was just basically trying to get some families out here, utilize our equipment, the volleyball court, create a little fun event, and see if it can turn into a little annual income for the parks. I know Bill called earlier in the week and said about getting some new beach sand in the volleyball court, so that should be coming in the next couple weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, and that post, the post is leaning too. I think we could just reset that one post out here. See the concrete fully come up. If we could just bust that concrete up, pull that back, and reset it, get that all tightened back up, and get about 5 to 10 tons of sand out there would help. And
Bill has come up with a lot of good ideas for out here too, like removing that post out there and putting it over here so that people quit driving through the grass because it's falling over that old pole out there. Like the sign that's out front out here used to have plastic in it and it used to be able to hold letters or whatever. It's no longer able to be utilized, so I said he could take that down and then like work on the volleyball net, tightening that up because the posts are coming up. We talked about, you know, the basketball back guards. We talked about a lot of stuff, and he has a lot of good ideas. If you want to share any of those too?
yes, I can.
Switch me in.
You mind if I said I got a screwed up leg?
I don't mind if you said.
No football injury, it is. Mary says just me pushing back the client. Yeah, as far as that marquee out there, which is over here,
The sign.
yeah, the signage, it's all falling in, and we don't even have the letters no more for it, I don't believe, to.
We don't.
But we can get a portable one to set out there. We got a special date going on up here. You know, if you like fireworks tonight at 10 o'clock or whatever.
Does the firemen have one of those, Floyd, that they use when they have events?
That's just up there.
It's up there.
But it's,
But I mean, like when they do the fireworks and stuff out here, do they
Put it in a
notice?
paper.
Okay, all right,
yeah.
You know, everybody knows
okay,
we have them, and as long as we announce when they're gonna do it.
okay.
But I thought that would be something. But I think that one needs to be discarded.
Right.
It did have electricity running to it at one time. But we'll just like see if we can get that done. We talked about solar lights, maybe for the west side.
Bill and
It's-
Seth
yeah.
are working on those
Next
for the
time.
air conditioner to keep people from stealing that
Yeah,
stuff.
And we got these two on the back patio.
yeah,
Yep.
I was gonna say them wasn't working. There's an old tetherball pole or something out here. It's just, it needs to be removed. It's no
That might
longer-
be what we put the new solar light on, facing the building.
Oh, you would do, is it?
Possible, it's a possibility.
Yeah, like I say, it's leaning like everything else. The playground sign that was down on the corner, I'm looking by the scene, it's been like laying over about 35 degrees for a couple of years. I've been servicing that, I've got it all stripped down, and I'm gonna repaint it with the caution yellow or safety yellow that's supposed to be. And it's only gonna cost the town less than $10 for me to do that.
Awesome, thank you.
So, volleyball, we talked about that, I guess, the sand and all for that back there. A while back, maybe even a year ago, we talked about maybe a pickleball court out here.
Well,
But,
Jenny's got some park stuff that she'll talk about here in a few minutes, and
Okay.
then we'll incorporate some of that stuff.
Yeah,
What
that's-
her plans are.
yeah, I was gonna say if we do, I don't know whether we can leave the basketball goals up or not. Or we'd have to take the net down each side because guys running from one end of the court to the other, they're gonna be, you know, they'll be jumping that net and it'll be down on the ground. Yeah, I can see that happening real quick. Now, the basketball goals, backboards on these two here have got holes in them.
Yep.
But they can't be switched back with these here because these are welded down here. I checked it out today.
We'll look into it.
Yeah.
That could be
And-
park stuff.
stuff going on there, so I won't do that. Excuse the sunglasses, but I got night energy too. So,
Sure like that.
I've done that deer hunt this last winter and got a twig in it, and it's been killing me. These lights are really messing with it. I bought you grills out here.
Yeah, that'll be a part of Jenny's plan too. Jenny's
Okay.
got a huge plan coming.
Okay, yeah, I don't think it's been used for lots of years, other than birds sitting on my poop. But I would, as far as the cabin goes, I would like to see some, maybe if we could get like 2 or 3 rocker chairs out here. This ladder here is broke.
That's part of your plan too.
Sit down, Bill.
Now, have you got cheating down for the logs?
Those logs will be gone, so listen, let her talk and you'll see it's amazing.
Okay.
Her plan is amazing.
Okay, I have some other things, but I think that's gonna be included on it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, water and sewer.
Well, I'm just gonna do the sewer, got a ton of little projects, going on, but the big things are just, still working with Diane on the long-term control plan. And, with the Indiana Finance Authority, there's a bunch of stuff that we have to do in order to just be eligible to apply for funding, so, they're saying, spring of 2026 is when they're kind of, targeting to be able to apply for funding, but we have time to work for them. I'm still gathering information that means.
He had a plumber come in and fix it. He called up to the, city building and said, turn the water on. The guys turned the water on. Well, there was another leak. We didn't know there was a leak. We weren't told to check for a leak. We were just told to turn the water on, so they turned the water on. So there was another leak and he had another bill, another high bill. So he throws a fit that they didn't check for a leak, rings them out. We turned the water off again because he wants the water turned off again. And he has a plumber come in, they fix the second leak, and again, they call and said they just want the water turned on. So we go turn the water on again. We didn't check for a leak, and lo and behold, there's a different leak. So there's another water bill, and the water bill is $968.98, and he wants it adjusted. He wants $682.33 adjusted off. And this was on Meridian Street,
Like, where at, in the water? Like,
in there, under their house.
so the plumber just, like, left?
He didn't see the other. He didn't see the other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is.
Well, here's how we're fixing that from now on. I can tell you.
That's over 3 months, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, over 3 months. So here's how we're fixing that. We will no longer be turning water on unless the people are home or their plumber is there. If it's, and if they can't be there after hours, they'll have to wait till the next day. We will no longer be turning water on after the water fix until the people, the homeowners are there or the plumber is there, so that we can validate that all the, leaks were fixed. So that's gonna fix that. I would have thought too, but the resident is really upset, saying that we neglected to look for a leak, and that it is our responsibility to look for a leak every single time we turn water back on. And so he wants this adjustment, and I wanna know what you guys think we should do about this. We gave him an adjustment, he's already had one adjustment. And then he had a leak again the next month, and a leak the next month, and so now he wants another adjustment, and he wants a large adjustment of $682.33. The leak right now fixed. Go ahead, Ted.
There's a question whether or not there's 2 weeks. When you look at the water consumption, it was high. After the first leak was fixed, it still remained at the exact same level. And so, whatever was done, it wasn't I'm questioning whether there's a second leak. I'm just saying we missed the original leak. Second of all, let's put it this way, like, how much liability does the town want to take on? If you call and say, hey, I electrician fixes it, and then your house, your toaster burns out and everything else and stuff because the fault wasn't fixed by the electrician. Are you gonna sue the electrical company, or are you gonna sue the electrician? I mean, what's the liability of the town versus what's the liability of the plumber? Because there's a contract law that says if you hire somebody to do a job and they don't do the job, then the liability is on the plumber. But that's all I'm gonna ask today. So just additional information.
The current bill is $968.98, that's for 3 months. He paid $286.65, which is the $95.55 that it would be up for those 3 months. He went ahead and paid that because he wants the rest of it adjusted off. He only wants to pay the $95.55, which is his normal bill without leaks every month. So he went ahead and paid that amount, and he wants the $682.33 adjusted off.
It's 3 months bill.
For all the leaks, because we didn't check for the leak each time. So he's saying that it was our error and not his or his plumber's error.
They should check the leaks too.
So I'm saying,
If it's 3 months after the first month, if he's got that bill and he's got a leak, in the second month he's got a high bill, he's got a leak. In the third month he's got a high bill, right? So all 3 bills come to $900 some. But what he's doing, he's paid $95 the first time he had the $300 some bill, and then he paid $95 again. Did he come in one time and pay 3 months?
he came in one time and
One
paid
time
all
paid
3.
3 months.
Yes, paid all 3 of those months' bills. I mean, I think fair to, if you wanna, it's my thought that maybe we should just meet him in the middle and give him half of that. I don't know what you guys wanna do, what you guys think is fair, because he came in and he was really upset and he threatened to beat stuff up, he threatened to beat Ted up.
He said he had an attorney.
Yeah,
He
he
said
was
he can't do
really
that to
angry.
a handicap.
I think where all the misconception came from was the plumber called after he fixed it and then had us turn the water on. He left, so nobody was there. You know, our work order was turn the water on. Because the leak was fixed, was what we were told. We showed up, turned the water on, carried on about our business for the rest of our day. Plumber had left, nobody was there to check his job. So that's where the misconception, I think, the problem is, which Brenda has now fixed. Somebody has to be there when water's turned back on so they can see if they have a leak or not.
But Ted, when you turn the water on,
I'm sorry.
and if there's no leaks, that means it won't be going around, it won't be moving, right?
Correct, but when you turn on a water meter, you gotta think, you got a 40-gallon water heater filling up, you got a leaky toilet, water softener, that's what, yeah.
But the needle on your gauge, it tells you how much water you're using. If it's a movement, then you've got a leak.
Yeah,
Not
but
necessarily,
they're not-
because you
they're
might
not
be
gonna
having
let
a toilet fill up, you know, anything in your house. You could have a drip in your sink, and that dial will be moving. I mean,
We
Yeah.
turned the water on at one house, and we saw the meter spin for a half hour because it was filling up toilets, it was filling up the water heater, it was filling up water softeners. Do you want us to sit there and just watch a water meter for a half hour?
that's
No,
what, yeah.
no. But I mean, what I'm doing, when you turn that water on, if that needle's moving, there's water being used.
Correct.
Yeah, but it's probably filling up the stuff that they drained while they had the water off, because they had to drain everything when they had the water off to fix the leak. So when they initially turned the water back on, all that stuff had to fill back up.
Right.
And so if the needle's moving, that just means the stuff's filling up, not necessarily that there's a leak.
Right.
And every house is different. One house might take 10 minutes. One, like Ted said, we went to a house the other day, and they asked us if we could stay to be positive, and we had the availability, so me and Ted hung around, and we were there for like almost 35 minutes. So, you know, like that,
It does, but what do you want to do?
how much
Like I said,
how much time do you want me standing around watching a dial?
So what do you think we should do, Mauro?
I'm not on the council.
All right.
If you want me to see what the policies are in other towns, you can table it and I'll bring you back some information.
Oh Lord, if we table it, he'll be mad because he wants an
When's
answer.
this bill come in?
It's already due. I mean, we just read it again, so
How much was it?
I don't know
remember if it's, if it's in the book, well, I'll have to look when I go in.
There was 300.
You adjusted some.
Yeah, you adjusted some last month.
This was.
For the month before, yeah.
It was 3 months ago that she
Yeah.
brought it here,
Yes.
because this is the third month that it's been leaking. So what do you guys wanna do? We're gonna see what the policy is, you're gonna have to tell him that we're gonna have to see what, yeah, we're gonna table it, I need a motion to table it. Mara's gonna check on what the policies are in other, towns.
Hey, Brenda.
And then, as far as a plumber, and then we'll bring it back up next month.
Once all these smart meters are done, we won't even have to stand
Correct.
to
Yes.
watch a dial.
Yes.
So hopefully within the
And
next
they-
2-3 months, this won't even be an issue anymore.
Because they have started the smart meters again, they have started installing smart meters already, so hopefully, Bill said it's gonna go really smooth and they'll
Yeah.
all be in soon.
Yep, we
So
put
this
in-
will never happen again once you get your smart meters in.
Correct, because we'll be able to pull it from the antenna and tell you what's going on.
Yes.
And so another thing I want to say real quick for this week, nice weather. We are out and about putting in the smart meters. So if you see us out in your yard and you lose water, don't freak out for a couple minutes. Be a little patient, give us a few minutes, and we'll have your water back on. We're just swapping them out. So I've had a few people come out today that were pretty concerned that we shut their water off, understandably, but just be patient with us.
How long did it take you to change the smart meter?
With the process we have set up today, about 10 minutes.
Until you get to the ones like on Bell Street or those little teeny ones.
Yeah,
those are the
I
ones that are
was
gonna be hard to
2
do.
arms in a basket today, facing the grass, trying to work in there. Some of them are pretty difficult.
Definitely a case by case.
Yeah, it depends on the pit.
And then like how they're gonna do the businesses, that's gonna be, I mean, like the school or the apartment complex, cause those are inside in the walls and the schools is in the wall too. So I don't know how they're gonna do that, or the one, if you'll be able to even do the one at the water treatment plant, I don't know.
Are you shooting for 3 months and having them all in?
I don't know the timeline.
Weather, right?
Yeah, dependent. I know this week we plan on hitting it every day this week, except possibly Friday because we're calling for a little bit of rain maybe. But I know for the next 3 days we're aiming to try to at least get 2 to 3 boxes a day.
Thank you guys for all you do. We don't have any contracts. Oh, let's go to parks.
Okay. Alright, so, last month, somebody had mentioned that, there was a family in town that wanted handicap swings. And, I'm the go big or go home type person, so I'm like, you know what, I played on this equipment when I was a child, and we need to rebuild. So,
Does anybody want to see this?
in the past couple of weeks, I've reached out to 2 different companies, that do playgrounds. One lady came down yesterday, and we walked around the park. So, waiting on quotes, but the plan is to totally redo the park. Everything that's here comes out. We get all new equipment. The park, the thought behind the idea is an all-inclusive playground. So if you have a child in a wheelchair, they're able to go up and do the play sets. And we'll have a section for like 2 to 5-year-olds, and then sections for 5 to 12. They'll have sensory equipment, handicap accessible equipment. The big thing though is the big plan is to take that concession building down and put it in a splash pad.
Yeah.
Alright.
We try to run through here on the daily, and we've noticed that people are pushing in the doors on
Yeah.
the east side, and there's a bunch of.
Another plan is to get some security cameras out here.
So, of course, there's grants for all of this, and I told both companies, look, I wanna get enough grants and fundraising to cover everything. I don't wanna pay a dime for it. So, within the next year, we'll have like a GoFundMe fundraiser for it. I wanna have like a community countywide hog roast out here at the park, just some different ideas that I've got. But hopefully, if all goes as planned, next summer, we'll have a new park.
She wants to ask for some businesses to volunteer their times with excavation and
Yeah.
taking equipment, they said if we had the old equipment out and that building down, they said that would cut our bill tremendously. So we know people that have excavators in our town, we're gonna see if we can't get some people to volunteer to, do their time. And they said we could either have turf out here or rubber.
Or rubber, but we decided on the turf because it lasts longer after the artificial turf.
Yep, and it's easier to fix too.
And crutches, wheelchairs,
That's awesome.
those could, navigate on them. The grills, all of them come out.
Except for a couple, because we're gonna have a pavilion so that families can
Yes.
cook out. Once we put that out here, there'll be a pavilion, and we said not more than 4 picnic tables big, because we don't have that much business, and then a couple of those grills will be around that, so that people can cook out with their kids while they're playing on the splash pad, or playing on this, and the one handicap swing, they said parents could get in, like the wheelchair goes on one side, and parents get in on the other side, so that they can swing with their child.
We used to have that one building, was a pavilion at one time. I think it's.
You know what's in it now? It had picnic tables in it?
Yeah, well, it's storage now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Now, will they wait till after the ball season to start that?
We still have to apply, she still has to apply for grants and everything.
Yeah, what company is this? Game Time, St. Clair Playground, Game Time. Their grants come out in the fall. I actually have books from them.
I wanted to tell you something too, Jenny. I was called today by somebody and they said that if we do themes for, people who are renowned, renowned people for this area, that there's grants, you get more grant money for theming it after an important person. So we told them that we wanted some of it to be with the Redkey, some of the stuff, or we could, and everybody has an input, or we could do Norfolk and Southern, and we could make trains out here, and they would be apt to give us probably more grants.
The splash pad book has training, like I've already got the splash pad planned out, okay, it's done.
Historical figures. Yeah, if we theme it after a historical figure, they said that there's tons more grants available. I just wanted to let you know that.
Like they got trains for the splash pad, like slides, and then they have a railroad crossing where the arm comes down and gets splashed. And then they have an old fashioned water tower that you can customize, and I thought, you know what, it's gonna be white with a red key on it, and it'll like dump water on you.
Each one of the things could be a theme, like one could be for the Norfolk, one could be for Redkey, and one could be for our historical figure.
I mean, the options are endless, so whatever company gets back with us, whoever has the better quote, but both companies, from start to finish is like 6 to 8 weeks is the project timeline. So if they start in the spring next year, by this time next year, I have a new partner.
Cool. She has to come up with what she wants, they come up with a proposal, and then we have to go from there with grants and stuff like that. But she has to pretty much tell them what equipment she wants, what turf she wants, what theme she wants, all that stuff. So if anybody has any good inputs, call Jenny, let Jenny know.
Shoot me a message on Facebook with any ideas, anything.
One question, Jenny. If we get any grants this year, can we apply them for the stuff that we're gonna get next year? Why are we gonna do that? I mean, Norfolk and Southern is $45,000 a year.
I think we probably could, that would be Darlicia, she's here, would we be allowed to do that, Darlicia?
I'll have to look into more specifics, because even with how we go to put the things together, like if we went for certain type of grants, I'm thinking of different ones. Funding from the state, you have to bid certain projects out. Other things you'd have to do within a obligation period and then have it spent by a certain time. So I have to look more into the specifics, but it looks like we might be doing a combination. I would say that if we go to put together a plan, I would want you to put together something that's like your outstanding, absolute everything I want, but then something that's a little bit more conservative. And the reasoning for that is because of the size of our community. It's gonna be impacting us economically, of course, but the funding is gonna also, is very competitive. So they're gonna look at the size of our community and how many people it's gonna actually impact.
You realize this is a sensory park though for
Yeah.
sensory deficit children, so this
Yeah.
would be the only one in this community or
Right.
surrounding communities, right?
Yeah, and she called it, national,
I can't remember what she said, I was there, but I don't remember. And Mr. Pinkerton called me from the school today, and we have 11 extreme cases of handicapped children in our Redkey community, and 29 resource students that would all severely benefit from, so that's 40 students just in Redkey that would benefit for this park.
right.
But yeah, I would
Is that
say-
counting sensory kids?
That's counting just Redkey. I mean, that's not counting kids in surrounding county, you know, community, or in Jay County, but
Right.
other small towns within this.
So if we go with one company, the park would be considered a national demonstration site for inclusive play. It would have a sign with its own QR code. People could come, scan it, put in their information, like where they're from, how many kids they have here, why did they come. You know, everybody knows if you're going to play softball, Redkey's the place to come.
It tells, doesn't it tell how long they played at the park too?
Yeah, how long they were here, and then when people Google like inclusive parks, Redkey will come up, our park will come up, and
This will be the park that they look at to try to get something in their own communities, so. they will-
feature that on our
Yeah,
website.
yeah.
So when you guys are speaking of this, are you speaking of the person that's going to be putting the park together? Or are you speaking of the funding source? I'm just trying to understand who's, the information that you're gathering and who's, that you're getting the, information and the details.
The playground,
Yeah, they're the ones that's gonna be
the
making.
builder.
Got you, but not a funding source. They don't have a funding source.
Correct, yeah,
So-
yeah,
Alright.
we're just getting the ideas and, trying to come up with, you know,
And that's something that we'll talk about when we meet you at Pizza Hut. We're not doing Thursday though, we'll talk about that after this, so.
Okay.
Is that okay, Jenny?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
yeah, that's fine, but, yeah, if anybody has any ideas, suggestions, please, hit me up on Facebook or call me or something.
Can I ask one question? Are you gonna keep that toy on the spring out there?
No, it's all gotta go, I'm sorry. I know, memories,
I think you should put that up for auction then,
why?
Yeah, what?
cause I think people would be interested in it.
I mean, could we not put some of this up for auction or something
I
and
think
try
we
to?
have to talk about whether we really get the grants and stuff first. Let's talk about after we make sure that we get the proposal first. Yeah. Yeah.
And then other thing too is that we talked yesterday, we're gonna go through all the trouble and the costs, and let's let Pierce to do this. You know, there's kids in this community that don't know how to behave. I would like to have cameras put up in the park.
There'd have to be, especially the new park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, the guys that did the stuff for me up there at the police department and changing those cameras and that, I did speak to them. I told them I'd bring it up to this meeting to see if you guys were okay with me getting quotes for the next meeting as far as being able to put cameras up. We can get Wi-Fi here to this building, which wouldn't be hard. Sticking a camera up on the water tower and maybe one over there where it covers this whole general area. Because with all the vandalism
Quotes don't
going on,
hurt, so we're fine with that.
I mean, we're wasting quite a bit of tax dollars trying to fix things, and
Yeah.
that's just, I think more or less, that's where the attorney come into play to, you know, making them have a letter sent to them that they're gonna, the parents would pay the cost to start cleaning up these problems.
Next thing on the agenda is Don Brunson. Are you here?
We have a tabled contract from last month.
We do have a table contract
Yeah.
last time?
You guys need to have that rate study done.
We have the rate study being done. We're not, and it's being done for free by Alliance of Indiana.
I never saw a contract from them. so
We don't, they don't give us they didn't give us a
No, it's
contract.
not, yeah, they don't have, it's not a fee for service and stuff, so they don't have contracts.
Yeah, but they don't charge us.
When do we expect that
He,
back?
I just got an email from him. yesterday that said that he is just waiting for the guy to get back. Chad Reynolds is his name. I said, have you heard from him yet? And he's like, no, haven't heard back from Todd yet, but hopefully this week. So, and he said that it probably would be done the first week of May.
Okay,
So,
alright, you can connect me to him, cause I'll have to put that into an ordinance.
okay, alright, okay. Then Don Brunson, is he here?
No.
Okay, he wanted to talk about his water bill, not here. Tim Dishman? He's not here. He's not here. Says putting prefab home at 26 South George Street. Well, he's not here. Alright. Make sure. Is there anybody on the council that has anything else? Cause I just wanna make sure before I close it, and make sure you sign the,
These have to be signed.
Now that's two things.
if it's not, well, if it's not on the agenda, what is it?
Farmers market will be the first Saturday in May.
Okay.
And the second thing I got, Uncle Sam's got $44 million for veteran cemetery. I'm checking with the veteran guy at Park Court, and I'll bring you back some stuff next week.
Okay.
Next meeting,
Okay.
and we can turn that down into the veteran cemetery. Just check it around.
First weekend of May, farmers market.
First Saturday in May.
First Saturday.
Is it here? What time is it?
8 to 12.
8 to noon and it's at the park?
No, it'll be right up town by the post office.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
There's just one thing I want to add to the police department, that I laid out there for all the council members. I am doing, starting a chaplain program for the police department.
You're doing, oh, a chaplain?
Yep, and Steve Arnold and I have been talking about that. So I came up with a program and how I'd like to proceed with having that, and him be able to help us out and meet when we have things happen in town, you know, that he can go with us and help us out. And I've waited for you guys all the rules and stuff for him, or for anybody that wants to be a chaplain on the police department. So if there is any concerns with that, let me know. But otherwise, that's based off of what the sheriff's department and the city of Portland, they also have chaplains. So I took their information that he provided me with and put my own thing together for Redkey to have. So
What is your name, please?
You want me to?
Yeah.
I'm Steve Arnold. I just live over here in Yellow Mud.
Welcome.
And I've been down here for about 5 years, and I got about 7 years experience as a chaplain with law enforcement in Jay County and the Portland Police Department. And I remember Chris from earlier days when he was reserve at Portland. That's how he knew me. And when I went to the meet and greet, we started talking about the chaplain program. And chaplain program, even though it sounds like it's for the police department, it's actually a community thing. Because one of the things some of the things we do as chaplain is we go out on death notifications at the DNOD, and we actually just spend time with the officers and just kind of their moral spiritual support. And also when I was a chaplain in Portland, we were also for the city employees as well, and the first responders. So it's more or less just another support system for the community and for the families of the officers and wherever we're needed. Right now, we had the luxury of having 7 chaplains up at Creamy County and PD. And so I'm just voluntary as needed with Chris and the department. My understanding there's 5 officers altogether. And so I just live right over here. I pastor a church in Portland. I've been in the ministry for about 24 years. So, and I've had a lot of experience, unfortunately, doing some of the things that we do as chaplains. So, anytime you have questions, like I said, I live just right over there.
Thank you. Welcome. I think that's it for us.
Well, can I have a question? It's not on the agenda. I just saw that. Somebody had asked about if you had bad weather, if there was a place to go.
I'm still working on that.
Okay.
I mean, it takes a while. Mr. Pinkerton is another one. When he called me about the kids today, he said he's still working on an answer for the school for tornadoes. There is a few churches that have reached out to me about making them tornado sanctuaries too. However, they said they don't have all the supplies and that Redkey would have to purchase them a generator or something of that nature just gonna wait on Mr. Pinkerton to get back with me on that, and then if that doesn't, if that